Again, thank you for being here. 2018 was, for Plug and Play globally, a year of expansion in terms of new offices in new geographic locations with new accelerator programs, and I think it's no different for the travel program. So 2018, we think it was a year of expansion and maturity for the program. In fact, the batch 6 startups that are presenting to you guys today, we were told by corporate partners, investors, in terms of the quality of the startups, the diversity of the startups, was in fact the best batch we've had to date for the travel program. So we're very excited for what we accomplished with all your help and the startups' help in 2018. And I would say on behalf of the entire team, we're even more excited about what we're going to achieve in 2019. And I need a clicker up here to go through the slides. Thanks. So with that, just wanted to highlight our existing corporate partners. Very happy to have JetBlue here. You guys will be hearing from Bonnie Simi, the president of JetBlue Technology Ventures, in the keynote, and she will be part of the panel followed by that. And very excited to have the 3 highlighted corporate partners here come on board since our June summit. First of all, C-Trip out of China. We're very excited as our first OTA to have them on board as an anchor partner. TUI Group, who's been affiliated with us for a while now as an ecosystem partner. They have decided to become an anchor partner in the travel program out of Silicon Valley. And last but not least, Easy Group, the parent company of EasyJet and a number of other Easy-affiliated companies. We had the pleasure of spending time with the chairman and the founder last week, and it was an inspiring meeting, and it was probably one of the fastest corporate partners to join us. So we're very excited to have them on board. On the investment front, if you guys remember from our summer summit, our goal was to invest in 10 startups in the travel industry in 2018. We're not quite there yet, but we do have a couple of more startups that we are looking at aggressively, and hopefully we'll hit that number before the end of the year. So on the investment front, I would say we definitely hit our target. The goal for 2019 is to actually invest in 20 startups with Saeed's permission, but hopefully we'll be able to hit that target. This is the part of the practice that I truly enjoy, and hopefully we'll be able to hit that metric in 2019. So as part of our expansion plans, both globally as well as the travel and hospitality practice, you guys see a bunch of new names and faces here. Everybody knows Saeed. You guys know me, hopefully. My new business partner, Chen, who I had the pleasure of working with at Nor1 during my tenure there, joined us as a managing director, a phenomenal addition to the team. Jordan Bray doesn't deserve an introduction since he's the most famous guy on the team already. Angela Shi, she joined us about a month ago out of Stanford. We are delighted to have her on board as our venture associate. And I think she's going to be a power player in our practice in 2019 and going forward. Anna Klut, really the glue for our practice. She really makes the practice go around. She's our program manager. Her role may be changing in 2019, so stay tuned for that. She'll still be with the travel team. Patricia Nordstrom, if you guys remember, we held an event in Singapore earlier this year to expand the travel program into APAC, and Patricia has been instrumental in getting that practice off the ground. Irene Wang, she's in the audience here today. She's heading our travel program out of China with the help of Jessica Zhu. And last but not least, Pierre Pastro, who's also here. He's going to be hopefully launching our travel program in Europe in early 2019. With that, I would love to invite Chen on stage to continue the opening remarks and talk about the batches and the panel and the keynote. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome. It's been 2.5 years since Amir started this practice at Plug and Play as one of the 14 verticals supported globally as holistically the innovation platform for corporations and startups. After 2.5 years, we've accelerated over 95 startups and across 5 different batches. So today here, we're with 18 different startups celebrating the grand finale of batch 6. As far as the technical areas are concerned, these startups cover a very broad range of technical interests, among which you will see startups focusing on operational efficiency, security and safety, personalization and loyalty. Last but not least, when it comes to things that are related to fintech, etc. For travel in general, we thought it would be worthwhile for us to spend just a couple minutes on the trends as well as investing. 2018 has been an interesting year in the sense that travel came back in a big way as far as getting attention from the investors are concerned. During the first half of 2018, according to CB Insights, travel as an industry was able to draw more or less $4.5 billion US away from the investors as far as travel tech startups are concerned. And then compare that number to 2017. For the entire year of 2017, the travel startups were able to draw more or less $5.3 billion US. And according to the latest research paper from Focusrite, they were able to track more or less close to 2,000 startups globally involving the travel tech space, and out of which pretty much overall they were able to draw about $19 billion US. So if we were to put those numbers into some perspectives, as far as VC activities are concerned for 2018, on a quarterly basis, globally, VC managed to pull in about $50 billion US on a quarterly basis. So if this trend continues, we're going to end the year with more or less $200 billion US invested into startups, period. But for travel, as the oldest and largest industry in the entire world, we have a lot to do. I think for now, if we were to get more or less $10 billion US in out of a ballpark number, $200 billion US, we're making a very small fraction of the overall VC activities. But nonetheless, you see these names coming up on the big screen. In the airline distribution space, for the last few years, there have not been much M&A activities at all, but Farelogix was acquired by Sabre for about $350 million, and that is considered a record-breaking number within that space. And for those of you that are not familiar with Farelogix, this is basically considered a victory of something called NDC, which stands for New Distribution Capabilities, something that really got started between Farelogix and American Airlines back in 2012, when the two parties came together and set up a list of new standards for distributing airline tickets, as well as ancillary upsell and cross-sell. In addition to that, I think one thing that we did not put on the big screen that is noteworthy is Amadeus' acquisition of TravelClick for $1 billion US that happened in early summer of 2018. Also in the business corporate travel space, when it comes to travel management companies, it's worth noting that TripActions, as well as Travel Perk out of Europe, got a lot of attention recently. And TripActions joined this in-destination experience aggregator called Klook to become the latest addition to the unicorn club out of travel and hospitality. Both companies are valued north of $1 billion now. Outside of that, you see a huge wave of European startups coming back, raising a lot of capitals on the other side of the ocean. The listed names here include Tourradar, GoEuro, and Evanios. So you're talking about companies out of Germany, companies out of Austria, companies out of France. And with all these things combined, I think it is a good time for travel startups to raise money, and it's also a great time for folks on the corporation side to keep an eye on these emerging tech providers when it comes to their business models, when it comes to their innovative ideas. For today's celebration with our batch 6 startups, what would help us tremendously is for all of you to open up this URL at a later time during the show so that you get to cast your vote to these startups. What we will do at the end of the session is to do a quick voting process, making sure everybody gets a chance to put their vote in on their cell phone. And if you need Wi-Fi, obviously just select PMP events. No password is required. Once you're in this particular URL, you should be able to see something called voting. Just click on that, and you will see a list of startups that are presenting today for travel and hospitality out of batch 6.